everyone. Well, what do we have here today? Donald Trump, of course, finally held his rally in the Bronx, and he had a massive turnout. Last I heard, it was about 25,000 people came out strong for that MAGA movement, right? Even the left is fed up with the left, right? The Democrats should be worried because every single policy Joe Biden has enacted is exactly what the Democrats have wanted, and guess what? It has blown up in their faces. People don't like it. People are not buying into it. They don't subscribe to it. And now they're coming out in show of force saying, hey, we are against all that garbage. Please give us Trump. Now, of course, what we just saw is a snippet of the people at the rally for Donald Trump, and compare that, honestly, to what we see from Joe Biden. Check this out.
This is 30 minutes before the President of the United States is supposed to be in this room. Feel the excitement?
Yes, the excitement. Tens of people showed up to support Joe Biden in New Hampshire. Okay, this is the reception he gets. Are these tables even full? I don't understand how this man can walk around saying he got 81 million votes. The wool is being pulled back. No one cares about this old fossil anymore. All the enthusiasm, all the excitement is with Donald Trump, and these rallies he's holding in New Jersey and now in the Bronx and hopefully soon in Madison Square Garden, New York City, right? They will show that, yes, Donald Trump does actually have a huge groundswell of support among people who never would have voted for a Republican before. Now, of course, who is most surprised by all of this? All the leftist liberal media over at MSNBC. Let's check this out. But first, make sure you like and comment so we can break through the algorithm. Here we go.
How was his message received?
Well, this might sound a little counterintuitive, but I did talk to folks in that crowd who themselves were immigrants. A lot of folks from the Dominican Republic. A lot of people that I talked to were born and raised in the Bronx. For some of them, this was their first ever Trump event. And when you talk to immigrants that are going to these Trump rallies, they agree with his message on immigration. Their point is, look, I did it the right way. I came here legally. And especially those living in New York right now, the sentiment I heard from a lot of voters was, you know, we have these immigrants right now that the city is taking care of in a way that I've never felt taken care of by this city. It was a large crowd and a diverse crowd. Yes, there were some people from Westchester, from New Jersey, but there were a lot of people there that were from the Bronx, Black and Latino voters that are sick of how much they're paying for gas and groceries, that are frustrated with the situation at the border, and that find President Biden's rhetoric when it comes to minority voters a little bit offensive. Take a listen.
Legal troubles. Does any of that worry you at all?
No, at all. I think he's going to be elected the president because everyone still wants him as the president. So to me, it doesn't matter.
Biden, they have disrespected the people of the city of New York. This was the best city in the world. We're not the great apple anymore. We're not the big apple. We are the rotten apple.
Biden went on the Charlemagne the God show and said, you ain't black if you don't vote for him. I'm black because that's what how I was born and what I am. And Trump is the man that can save this country. Period.
So interesting to talk to those voters, Anna, and multiple people actually mentioned that Charlemagne the God interview. I did press back with some of those folks, mentioning some of Trump's rhetoric that's been seen as racist and bigoted. They said they don't have a problem with that. They view his actions over his words in terms of what they feel he can do for their community. Again, the economy, those pocketbook issues, over and over again, top of the list.
There you have it. Believe it or not, your average person, left, right, center, whatever, what do they really care about? Safety, security, affordability. Those are the big topics. And who leads that? It's Donald Trump. All right. Joe Biden, of course, is out with the fringe, right? The leftists just love him because he's their blank slate. He's going to do whatever they say. All right. But this shows the discrepancy, the difference, the misunderstanding between the leftist elite media and the normal, average, everyday Americans. And yes, believe it or not, even legal immigrants hate illegal immigration. People who stood in line, did it the right right way, wanted to come to America to make a better life for themselves and their families, as opposed to coming into America, sneaking in, breaking our laws, and of course, only wanting to take from the system, which of course causes its own problems for poorer neighborhoods, which is, guess where? All of these people are being relocated. Okay, so yeah, newsflash. All right, do you see how surprised they seem? I mean, I tried to push back on some of these people a little bit, and you know, it just wasn't working because people have the clear comparison. Donald Trump, Joe Biden. One person judge them by their actions, and the other person do the same.
What's your reaction to him demonizing immigrants to try to connect with these Black and Hispanic voters in New York?
It's disingenuous at best. Donald Trump and the Republican Party created the chaos he is hoping to benefit off of. When the Texas governor, Greg Abbott, and when the Florida governor, DeSantis, decided that they were going to send migrants to cities like my hometown of Chicago, to New York, and various other places across the country, they did it with 2024 in mind because they wanted to create this fight for resource allocation. They fundamentally understood that many Black people, as well as brown people in these communities, already were suffering from lack of housing supports, from food insecurity, from other issues, and they sought to create a more desperate situation and to have a population that would demonize new arrivals. I think that it is extremely disheartening. I would say that when talking to these voters in New York, there should have been more questions regarding or more comments about Trump's policies, because this isn't a rhetoric issue. Trump wanted to have the Central Park 5 actually murdered. He wanted to ensure that the state killed those young men. He wanted to ensure that, you know, Black people did not have a space in the buildings that he had across the state of New York. In many cases, he's also pushed for anti-civil rights legislation. We have already seen what Project 2025 looks like. And for Black people and brown people across this country, it is an assault on our rights and an assault on our very being.
Before we continue, I do want to mention Joe Biden, of course, is out there printing and spending a massive amount of money, which of course causes inflation and devalues your currency. So what can we do to protect your investments? You can go to Genesis Gold Group and turn your 401k or IRA into a gold-backed security. And of course, to do this, all you have to do is go to angryteachergold.com or call 1-800-200-4653 to get the process started. Get back on the gold standard. And by the way, Genesis Gold Group is an America First faith-based organization, so you can be assured that you're not investing with a woke corporation. Let's get back to it. Oh my goodness, they're so upset that all of these Republican governors decided to start shipping off the problems that Democrats have allowed for years, for decades, to all of your blue cities, to all of your sanctuary states, and now you have to partake in this. And honestly, this is one of the most brilliant political moves ever undertaken by the Republicans. Give all of these elite leftist places just a little taste of what has been going on at the southern border in these southern states for years, right? Oh, you like them so much? Here they are. Go ahead. And guess what? They don't like it. And now they're like, oh, it's a big mastermind scheme with 2024 in mind. No, how about it's just, we have this huge problem that could be stopped tomorrow if Joe Biden wanted to, but he won't. So let's just go ahead and give it to everyone. And not to mention, Joe Biden's doing this anyway by flying in, what is it, 500 million illegals into cities, right? So bypass the border completely. Just fly them in. And somehow this is all Donald Trump's doing? Wake up, lady. And no one's buying her garbage anymore. You can come out here with all, oh, Donald Trump's the racist, Donald Trump's, and all, you can say all that you want, but no one cares about any of that anymore. All they care about is what they're experiencing. And Joe Biden has made it all possible.
The end of Trump's trial as a pivotal moment, an inflection point, one at which the minute-by-minute sideshow of courtroom drama has concluded and the time for voters to focus on what's at stake in November has arrived. Do you think that's the case? And what does that mean then if you are inside the Biden campaign right now?
I think that's more of a campaign message than it is a voter message. Voters have been focused on what matters in this election process for quite some time. That's why the economy will always be a ticker point for them. They are concerned with that. They are concerned with women's reproductive rights. They are concerned with civil rights, watching the rollbacks of DEI, watching the attacks on civil rights and the upending of many of the civil rights era policies that actually were pushing towards a more equal society. They're paying more attention to that and have been this entire time. They weren't necessarily focused on this trial to begin with. What I do think is that the Biden campaign will go full speed ahead and actually be a lot more aggressive after this trial is over, because the trial has, quite frankly, taken a lot of the air out of the room when it comes to media coverage and oxygen. And a lot of what he's been trying to push and his campaign's been trying to push just has not seeped through.
Yeah, the lawfare hasn't worked. As we saw in that first segment, Donald Trump's on trial. So what? Who cares, right? He's going to be the next president. Hopefully, okay? But then she mentions, oh, what do the voters really care about? She starts talking about all of, oh, the civil rights, the abortion, all that stuff. It's like, those are the bottom of the list for people. The top of mind, as to quote Corinne Jean-Pierre, is the border, of course, is inflation, the economy. Those are the things people care the most about. So all of this other stuff is just garbage and fluff. So as usual, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.